Marlboro Country is everywhere.
Come to where the flavor is.
Come to Marlboro Country.
Remember those iconic days? Picture a tough, seasoned cowboy sitting confidently on his horse against the expansive western landscape. He's holding a recognizable red and white package in his hand. It's the iconic Marlboro flip-top box with its signature red roof design. For many of us, the image of the Marlboro Man evokes a deep sense of nostalgia, a reminder of simpler times when life was lived at a slower pace. I remember seeing those Marlboro Men ads as a kid, you might say, and thinking, I want to be like him. That raw appeal, that embodiment of rugged American masculinity, is forever etched in our collective memory. These iconic images didn't just sell cigarettes, they sold a lifestyle, a dream, an identity. But the story of Marlboro is one of remarkable transformation. Once marketed as a ladies' cigarette, the brand struggled with less than 1% market share and faced the threat of extinction. Fast forward to today, and Marlboro has become synonymous with ruggedness and independence, standing tall as one of the world's #1 cigarette brands. How did Marlboro achieve such a dramatic turnaround? Welcome to Curious Station. Stay tuned to find out the secrets behind one of the most successful rebrands in history. It was 1835 in the gritty streets of Whitechapel, London. A baby boy was born to a family of German immigrants who had adopted the name Morris. Little did they know that this child, Philip Morris, would grow up to build a tobacco empire that would change the world. Fast forward to 1847, now 12-year-old Philip worked in his family's newly opened tobacco shop on Bond Street. Imagine young Philip, barely tall enough to see over the counter, selling loose tobacco and hand-rolled cigarettes to London's elite. This enterprising lad was already making a name for himself in the smoky tobacco world. Now it's 1854, and 19-year-old Philip wasn't content with just selling others' products. With nimble fingers and a keen eye for quality, he began crafting his own cigarettes. These weren't just any cigarettes, though. They were Philip Morris English Ovals, oval-shaped, non-filtered, and destined to become a legend in their own right. But Philip's ambitions didn't stop there. In 1870, he expanded his product line, introducing Philip Morris Cambridge and Philip Morris Oxford Blues, later renamed Oxford Ovals and Philip Morris Blues. These new brands solidified the company's reputation for quality and innovation in the tobacco world. In 1873, Philip Morris, a young tobacco entrepreneur, died at the tender age of 38. Lung cancer, the very product that he peddled, claimed his life. But the legacy of Philip Morris lived on, carried by his widow Margaret and his brother Leopold. They expanded to a factory on Great Marlborough Street, a name that would soon become legendary in the smoking world. Little did they know this street would inspire the name of the most iconic cigarette brands in history, Marlboro. In 1902, the Morris family set their sights on the land of opportunity, America. They opened a New York subsidiary, ready to conquer the new world with their tobacco treats. The name Marlboro was registered in the U.S. in 1908, although no cigarette was marketed under this name until 1923. In 1924, the Marlboro brand was launched, but Marlboro wasn't always the rugged, masculine brand that we know today. Marlboro was initially marketed as an extremely mild cigarette infused with Turkish tobacco and positioned as an American luxury cigarette for women. The tagline was "Mild as May." The advertisements featured bold, strong, yet elegant women, with the actress Mae West becoming the face of Marlboro's commercials. These ads highlighted how the ivory tips would protect women's lipsticks, with the company painting a red band around the filter to conceal lipstick stains. Their advertising trademark was "Beauty tips to keep the paper from your lips." Despite the clever marketing, Marlboro struggled to capture the market, about a 1% share of the market sales in the US. It seemed that neither the ladies nor the gents were particularly impressed with this fancy smoke. Furthermore, World War II brought a dramatic decline in cigarette sales, hitting the tobacco industry hard. In the post-war years, only a few brands like Camel, Lucky Strike, and Chesterfield really remained popular. Marlboro had a recognized name, but they needed to reinvent themselves entirely to create a new kind of cigarette that would stand out in the crowded market. In the early 1950s, the landscape of smoking was changing. Scientific evidence was mounting, linking smoking to lung cancer and other health issues. This shift led to a growing demand for filtered cigarettes, perceived as a safer option. However, at the time, filters were often associated with women and less masculine men. Marlboro needed to break this stereotype and prove that a real, rugged man could smoke filtered cigarettes. Philip Morris, under the visionary leadership of marketing expert George Weissman, embarked on a bold mission to reposition the iconic Marlboro brand. They turned to the Leo Burnett Company of Chicago, which was a powerhouse in advertising. One of Leo Burnett's first moves was to recommend a significant change in Marlboro's packaging. The result was the now iconic flip-top box with a distinctive red roof. It was designed by Frank Giannotto, the genius behind the Campbell soup can. This was the first major change in cigarette packaging in 38 years and was heavily advertised as a key differentiator. The new packaging not only kept the cigarettes in pristine condition, but also had practical uses when empty, like carrying fish hooks or stray buttons. But as clever as the packaging was, it wasn't enough. Marlboro needed a strong masculine image to overcome its past as a women's cigarette. They needed something iconic, something that screamed rugged masculinity. And that's when Leo Burnett struck gold. In 1954, the Marlboro Man was born. This campaign featured rugged cowboys embodying the sense of toughness and independence. The Marlboro Man wasn't just an advertisement, he was a symbol. This new marketing strategy was a game changer. It redefined Marlboro, transforming it from a struggling brand into an icon of masculinity and adventure. The first ad featured a cowboy, but the brilliance of the campaign lay in his versatility. The "You Get a Lot to Like" campaign in 1955 and 56 expanded the Marlboro Man's persona to include various archetypes of strong masculine men. Sailors, airline pilots, construction workers, all were depicted as Marlboro smokers. These men, with their tattoos hinting at romantic pasts, worked in action-filled, interesting occupations, reinforcing the idea that Marlboro was the choice of the rugged and the adventurous. The Marlboro Man campaign didn't just sell cigarettes, it sold a lifestyle. It convinced men that filtered cigarettes could be as tough and as manly as they were. The public response was nothing short of phenomenal. Marlboro sales skyrocketed from a mere 18 million cigarettes in 1954 to a staggering 6 billion by 1955. By 1957, Marlboro was selling over 20 billion cigarettes annually, a testament to the campaign's success. In fact, Marlboro sold more cigarettes in a single day in 1957 than it did in the entire year of 1954. As the 1950s came to an end, the Marlboro Man campaign continued to evolve. The slogan, "Where there's a man, there's a Marlboro," in 1957 gave way to the "Settle Back" series, where our Marlboro men were seen relaxing and enjoying their cigarettes. For a time, even athletes like Paul Hornung of the Green Bay Packers were featured, with Marlboro becoming one of the first sponsors of professional football. Hollywood also acted as a catalyst in cementing the image of cowboys as a symbol of masculinity. The most famous cowboy actor back in the day was Steve McQueen. He was famous for his part in the movie The Magnificent Seven in 1960. McQueen was the highest paid movie star in 1974, and it can be said that he was a role model for most men because of his acting, racing, and smoking cigarettes. The public quickly embraced the sophisticated yet rugged Marlboro Man. More and more people tried the cigarette, found a flavor that they had been looking for, and became loyal smokers of the brand. Marlboro was well on its way to becoming the greatest success story in tobacco and marketing history. In 1963, the Marlboro Country campaign was introduced, built around the slogan, "Come to where the flavor is, come to Marlboro Country." The advertisements featured the Marlboro Man in natural, picturesque settings, symbolizing the ultimate in masculinity and independence. Cowboys were shown herding cattle, riding horses, and relaxing by campfires, all while smoking Marlboro cigarettes. This imagery created a strong emotional connection with viewers, suggesting that smoking the Marlboro was synonymous with living a free and adventurous life. The 1960s saw Marlboro sales grow at an even faster pace. In 1966, Marlboro Menthol was launched, using lush green imagery to sell the idea of a cool, fresh, smooth smoke. A year later, Longhorn's 100s, or later Marlboro 100s, hit the market, offering a longer smoke with a touch of gold class. By the early 1970s, a new wind was blowing through the tobacco industry. Consumers were becoming increasingly health conscious, their interest piqued by the tar and nicotine content of cigarettes. Marlboro, ever the innovator, saw an opportunity where others saw a challenge. In a masterstroke of marketing genius, Marlboro launched what would become its most successful line extension ever, Marlboro Lights. This wasn't just another cigarette, it was a low-tar companion to the brand that had become synonymous with flavor. The tagline practically wrote itself, a low-tar companion for the cigarette that stands for flavor. But Marlboro didn't just stop there. They evolved their iconic imagery, softening the rugged cowboy persona just a touch. The familiar red roof, the cowboy, and the sweeping vistas of Marlboro Country remained, but now with a gentler, more approachable feel. It was a delicate balance, maintaining the brand's rugged appeal while catering to a more health-conscious consumer. The results were nothing short of spectacular. In 1975, Marlboro overtook Winston to claim the crown as the #1 brand in the US. By 1982, Marlboro Lights had established themselves as the top-selling low-tar cigarette. The brand wasn't just growing, it was exploding. But Marlboro's ambitions weren't limited to tobacco. They leveraged their strong brand recognition to venture into new territories. The roar of Formula One engines soon carried the Marlboro name across the globe, further cementing its international presence. The Marlboro Man, that icon of American masculinity, proved to have universal appeal. The concept of Marlboro Country resonated across cultures, transforming Marlboro from an American brand to a global phenomenon. By 1992, Financial World had crowned Marlboro the world's most valuable brand, with a staggering market worth of $32 billion. Even after the iconic Marlboro Man campaign wrapped up in 1999, Marlboro continued to reign supreme in the global cigarette market throughout the 2000s. This enduring dominance is a testament to the profound impact of its marketing strategies. By 2001, Marlboro had solidified its position as the most popular cigarette brand in the United States, a status it maintained well into the 21st century. As we close the chapter on Marlboro's remarkable journey, it's clear that this isn't just a story about cigarettes. It's a masterclass in branding and marketing magic. From its humble beginnings as a niche women's cigarette to its reign as a global titan, Marlboro's transformation is nothing short of extraordinary. The birth of the Marlboro Man and the creation of Marlboro Country weren't just advertising campaigns. They were the cultural phenomenon that redefined masculinity and independence for generations. Even in the face of health controversies and declining smoking rates, this brand has shown an almost supernatural ability to adapt and thrive. Through clever innovation, savvy pricing strategies, and an ironclad brand identity, Marlboro has kept its crown as the king of cigarettes. So there you have it, the story of Marlboro, a brand that revolutionized the tobacco industry and became an iconic symbol of rugged independence. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give it a like, leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more fascinating stories like this one. Until next time, thank you for watching.